up was different. I grew up in the 80s in Brooklyn, so it was very, I'm come from a first generation American parents, grandparents are from Panama. So I came up in a seen and not heard environment in New York in the 80s. So there was a lot of like rampant drugs and a lot of things going on. So we were very sheltered from that, but we did a lot of cultural things. We went out to a lot of plays and a lot of musicals, and my grandparents would make sure we were doing things, scouts. We was always doing something, but not in the streets. So it was a sheltered but abundant lifestyle.
That's great. Growing up, how was your household?
My grandparents raised me. My mother was in the military, so was my dad, so I barely saw my parents. I saw my mom maybe 2 times a year, if that, all the way up until I was like 15. So I really didn't know her. But my grandparents, we were thick. I love them with everything. I still think of them as my actual parents. Very strict, very by the book, but childhood was good.
That's great. Do you think not growing up as close to your mother as any other female would have affected you any throughout your life?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Not having that major mother-daughter bond, it's different. Being an adult now with my own daughter, seeing how our dynamic worked out, we're more like, me and my mom are more like friends than mother-daughter, and it's okay. I'm okay with that. She's not, but I am. She wants us to do like the whole nail thing and yada yada. I'm like, that's not who we are as people, and I'm okay with that, and you should be okay with that too. Like, different relationships are gonna be different. We're still together, but we're not like that. I'm not a girly girl either way, so it should be fun.
Tell me about a time in your life where you have interfered with where you have faced prejudice and racism.
Many places, but I'm a bartender by trade, and here in San Antonio that's kind of hard, only because 1, I'm black, and 2, I'm a female, and yes, San Antonio does have a good sized black community, but still it's pretty much predominantly Hispanic and or white, or Hispanics who think they're white. So so for me being here in San Antonio, doing what I do, trying to be a face of something, it's kind of hard sometimes, trying to find a job that will be lucrative enough just as much as they're getting paid to do the same exact thing that I'm doing or tipped out. So there's been a lot of times that I've been profiled, or they don't want me to serve them because I'm a black bartender, or I will serve them, but they always got something to say behind it, or whatever the case may be. It's happened many a times. Too many to count. That's kind of why I wanted to do this.
Is there a specific time where this is taking place, a specific
the most specific, recently, not the most recent one, but one that really still irks my nerve a little bit. During the beginning of the Kaepernick kneeling, I was bartending, and I had a table come in. They seemed cool at first, and then when the game came on, all of a sudden they wanted to stand for the anthem at the table, and the husbands did, and the wives were like, "What are y'all doing? Y'all don't do this at home." So I kind of knew there was something going on with it. And then towards the evening, I'm bringing them drinks and stuff. They don't have anything to say while I'm at the table, but when I leave the table, they got something to say. I can hear the husbands talking underneath their breath, all that good stuff. And then finally I just got tired of it, because I could hear the husband saying how, at least she's a good one. Things like that. At least she knows what she's doing. At least we didn't get stuck with one that doesn't know, or at least she knows how to make a decent drink, at least this, at least that. I just got fed up with it towards the end of the night, and I was like, look, I don't understand what I did to you. As you've been saying yourself, I make good drinks. I do what I'm supposed to do. So why are you treating me like you're expecting me to be bad? Like you're expecting me to do something wrong? Like why are you making me feel like I got added pressure on me when all I'm doing is my job, and you're trying to find something just to nitpick at, just to make it worse. So then one of the husbands blew up in my face, called me every name of the book. I did not even think that was gonna happen. Called me out my name, every name in the book. The wives were just sitting there, his friend was just sitting there. And then when they cashed out, the wife wanted to give me a 200% tip. And I felt like it was a buyout. And I ripped the receipt up in her face and was like, y'all ain't about to buy me out. Get your manager. You want me to get my manager for you trying to buy me out so I can be in the wrong? Try to get me it? No. So it's that's the most, I can feel myself, so I won't go all into it. But yeah, that was crazy. Try to buy me out. I was like, wow.
That's noble. You $200?
No, at 200%. Well, the tip was over $200, honestly, because they had racked up about, I think their bill was like 3 and some change, because they kept drinking, and like it was craft beers and stuff. And the wife was like, I'm so sorry. Like I could, like when she gave it to me, and I was like, I don't. Like, you're not about to, your husband just called me all this under the sun, had people watching the entire restaurant, now you want to give me money just so I can hush up about it? Lady, you can...
Like cover up, get you to keep quiet.
Yeah, like I was like, and then when I ripped it up, because you felt disrespected, y'all been disrespecting me the entire night. And I didn't say nothing, I try to keep it quiet, try to be nice about it, because I'm at work, you know what I mean? And I'm trying to keep my job. And I felt like, why do I have to try to keep my job when y'all the ones who come into my job acting like y'all ain't got no manners? What is up with all this? My manager at the time, she kind of didn't have my back, but I didn't expect her to have my back. And she was a white female, a lesbian female at that. So I was like, you can hide who you are. I can't hide who I am. I'm gonna be this all the time. You can hide the fact that you're a lesbian. They're not gonna know that you're a lesbian. They're gonna know that I'm black from the gate. They just see that you're being white and they expect you to side with them. But I bet if he would have known that you're a lesbian because he was talking stuff about gay people too at the table, that he probably wouldn't have said certain things to you or about you the way they said. So you can hide things, I can't hide it. So it was a lot that week. That was a long week for me. But I got through it, it's okay. But yeah, that's one of the main times of profiling and racialness that got to me.
You stated that your manager was Caucasian and basically she chose a side and chose the customer side of the argument or the situation.
She listened to them first instead of coming to me when I'm your employee. I'm the one. Yes, I'm riled up, and everyone else, all the other employees were telling you like what's going on. You really didn't do anything until I blew up. And then when I blew up, instead of coming to me to find out why I blew up, you went to them first. So to me, it was like you're supposed to have my back. You don't know these people from nothing. They come in here and they rile up one of your employees, and instead of coming to the employee, you go to them. So it made me feel like what? Like, you don't have my back, but we're supposed to be cool. We're supposed to be working together. You're supposed to be my manager. And for you to like take their side, talk to them, calm them down first instead of calm me down and find out what's going on, made me feel some type of way.
Do you feel as if black relations and white relations need a change in the work agency, in the work field, in the workforce?
Most definitely. Most definitely. Most definitely. Like, there's ways that not even the way there's just things that are different because of how society is and just how things are in general that we don't talk about, so that because we don't talk about it, we don't know how to address it. And you need to know how to address it, especially in the workforce, because you gotta work together. You gotta figure out how everybody can be okay and managing and have their sanity.
Unity is still important.
Yeah, it's so important because if you don't have that, no one's going to be sane, no one's going to want to work together, and it's not going to work out.
Where are you from again?
Brooklyn?
Brooklyn. How's the change from you were raised in that environment, being raised in that environment and being moved over or coming over to Texas?
It was different. From leaving Brooklyn, leaving where it was mainly a Caribbean, West Indian, black culture, seeing that predominantly getting money, doing what they need to be doing, and then coming to San Antonio, where it was, my brother went to Thousand Oaks Elementary School, and there was like 8 black kids in the entire school. So coming from seeing black people every single day to seeing like no black people was a huge shock for me. Huge, major shock for me. I didn't know what I was gonna do here in Texas. It was crazy.
How does this impact how you deal with others now in today's time?
I am slightly selective on who I choose in my circle. I do have friends of different nationalities and races and however you want to call it, but I choose them very selectively. My walls are very guarded when it comes to people, period.
How would others describe you?
Introverted. Introverted, but a healer. And I'm very, but when you get to know me, I got a lot to give and to say.
How would you go about pursuing justice in this situation that you've been through? Where that you make sure no other bartender gets treated this way, no other employee of such can avoid this.
I wouldn't really say justice, but I would say give knowledge to the situation, like address it and like let's find solutions for it. But justice, I don't look for justice in it, just knowledge and recognition.
Do you have any solutions for this problem?
Talk. We gotta be able to talk more. We gotta be able to open the lines of communication on both sides and try not to be heated.
What is your faith background?
I grew up Catholic, and now I see myself more as a spiritual person and less religious.
How do you relate your faith to this experience?
That's an interesting question. I don't know. Because, I don't know. That's a lot. I gotta think about that one. Next question. That's a good question. I might have to ask myself later, and then I don't know if I see it online, I might amend. But right now, I don't know.
How did you feel about telling this story? How did it make you feel receiving it, knowing it happened to you, and just talking about it now?
There were moments earlier when I told my mom the story again, got me kind of heated, but it felt good to talk about it again, because looking at it again for a different time, I'm seeing instances where I could have said something different, or the way I approached it could have been just a little bit differently. I'm not worried about them, but I'm worried about me growing in the moment of it and learning from what I could